You're listening to the Forbidden Brazilian Portuguese podcast, episode number 4. Olá pessoal, Fernando here. Welcome to another episode of Forbidden Brazilian Portuguese. Today we're going to have a look at some of the most common curse words that Brazilians use in situations of sudden pain. A lot of the words that we're going to see today will actually pop up in future episodes as well, because they can be used in different situations. For example, to express feelings of annoyance or frustration, but they will be used in slightly different sentence structures than the ones we're going to see today. So in this episode, we're going to focus only on the common curse words used in situations of sudden pain or something negative that happens very suddenly. For example, when you break something. So let's say you're doing some chores around your home barefoot and you accidentally hit a part of a chair or some other furniture. You know how painful that can be, and the chances are that you will curse either out loud or quietly in your head. And apparently, research into the effect of swearing has shown that it can actually help reduce the sensation of pain. So that's the scientific explanation on why people tend to curse when they feel extreme pain. The first and most likely exclamation of pain in Portuguese, the equivalent of ouch, is ai, which is then followed by some sort of curse word. The first one is droga. It literally means drug, but it's also used to refer to something that it's bad or an annoying thing. A lot of curse words that appear in English-speaking films shown in Brazil, words like shit or fuck, are almost always translated as droga, to avoid having to use more strong words in the subtitles. But more accurately, droga would be the equivalent of damn it in English. So, ai droga is quite mild, and you will get away with it even if you said it in public among strangers. Now, getting a little bit stronger, but still sort of on the edge, is the word bosta, which is the word for cow shit, cow dung. A bit like the word crap in English. Ai bosta. You can still sort of just about get away with it in public, although I wouldn't recommend it. So from here we can go to the very strong merda. A popular variation of it, in terms of pronunciation, is the Carioca way of pronouncing that R in the middle. People from Rio normally pronounce this word as merda. So a guttural R there. But generally speaking, as a more standard pronunciation, their R will be pronounced as a light trill, R, merda. Ai merda. So now we are already in the strong curse words territory, words that you would probably try to stop yourself from saying in front of children or people you don't know. The next one on the list is caralho, a slang for penis. Ai caralho. Sometimes people will use a variation of it, caraca, which makes it milder and more acceptable. A bit like when we want to say in English shit, but we realize after we start saying it that it's not really appropriate and change it to sugar. Oh, sugar. Ai caraca. Another slang for penis, which is also used in situations of pain, is cacete. Ai cacete. Cacete is not as strong as caralho, though. And then we have buceta, a vulgar word for vagina. Ai buceta. And another very common curse word in situations of pain is porra, which is a vulgar word for sperm. Ai porra. Now sometimes you might hear people say poxa instead of porra, to make it milder and more acceptable. The last item on our list is not a word but an expression, puta que pariu, which literally translates as the whore who gave birth. And this one is not actually preceded by I in situations of pain, it's enough to say it on its own. However, you really need to get the intonation right. So you don't say just puta que pariu. If you want to sound like a Brazilian, you have to put a lot of emphasis on the first syllable of puta, leaving a small gap before the last syllable. So it sounds like this. Puta. So the full expression is puta que pariu. A similar expression with the word puta is puta merda. So you have the word puta followed by the word merda that we saw earlier. So it sounds like this. Puta merda. Sometimes people would just say putz, which is a milder version of puta, like the sugar example that I mentioned earlier, instead of saying shit. So putz, or even putz grilo, or putz grila, although these are a little bit old-fashioned. It's much more common for people to just say putz. It's also important to mention here that sometimes Brazilians won't just stick to one curse word. They will string a bunch of them together, depending, I guess, on the seriousness of the situation, the level of pain. So an example of this extreme swearing would be ai, porra, merda, caralho, buceta. So a lot of curse words said quickly, strung together. Now let's review some of these words and expressions and practice our pronunciation. You can repeat after me. And here, really, it's important that you focus on intonation as well, because remember, you're in a lot of pain, or it's a very unpleasant, sudden situation. You wouldn't just say in English, shit or fuck. You would say shit or fuck. So try and transfer the same kind of energy, the same emphasis when you are saying these Portuguese expressions. So here we go. Repeat after me. Ai, droga. Ai, bosta. Ai, merda. Ai, caralho. Ai, caraca. Ai, cacete. Ai, buceta. Ai, porra. Puta que pariu. Puta merda. And now for the ultimate swearing, a string of curse words together. Ai, porra, merda, caralho, buceta. So we've come to the end of this episode, which had a lot of swearing. I hope you had fun hearing me swear and practicing your Brazilian Portuguese swearing skills. By the way, the Portuguese for swear word is palavrão. Literally translates as big word. We have the augmentative ending here, ão. Palavrão. The podcast notes with all these words and expressions written down and explanations for each of them are available exclusively to members of the Fun with Brazilian Portuguese Academy. If you'd like to start learning Brazilian Portuguese, or if you're tired of trying to learn with language apps and seeing no real progress, check out the FWBP Academy. You'll learn useful phrases and structures that will help you sound more natural and confident when speaking Brazilian Portuguese. You'll have access to 6 courses, a private members-only Facebook group where I teach regular live tutorials, and you'll have access to a real teacher, me, to give you personalized feedback and answer your questions. So check out all the benefits of the FWBP Academy on funwithbrazilianportuguese.com/membership. Muito obrigado, até a próxima, tchau!